Here in the city of Lynn, we have candidates running for councilor at large. We have candidates running for the school committee. We do also have a couple of ward councilors here. I'm a member here at the Community Brotherhood Club and also a member of the African American Leadership Council who is sponsoring this event tonight. So again, thank each and every one of you for coming out, doing your civic duty, and even those candidates that are running this evening, caring about your city, telling everyone that you can be the ones that can make a difference, all right? Everything can be improved upon. So we know how difficult it is, some of us, how difficult it is to run a campaign throughout this city. So again, we appreciate all your effort and your hard work. Hopefully it'll pay off for you. But let me just leave you with this one thing. Even if you are not elected, the ideal of running for public office is to bring about change any way that you can make it happen, all right? So this opportunity that you have this evening gives you a voice to put your opinion out there, have your ideas be heard, and maybe that can even influence the people that are in the office, even if you're not fortunate enough to be elected yourself. It gives you an opportunity to put it out there, to affect some change. So we appreciate you guys. Now, what we want to do is reach as many people as we can, as many as possible, and never underestimate the power of the collective, all right? The power of the collective. As many people as we have here right now, all right? Just as an example, I'm one person, but believe me, I know more than one person. I know many people that can be reached just by you reaching me. And the same thing applies to these people here this evening, all right? It is the collective, it's multiplicity, things can happen for you. These are potential votes for you this evening. They have friends, they have family, they have people that can influence this election. All right, so again, thank all of you for coming out. And I'm going to give you tonight's format in which we're gonna do things. Again, we're gonna start with the school committee. And the way that we do things here, we have 2 opposing seats. It's going to be 2 at a time. The candidates will be asked the same question. Each one of them will be asked the same question. All right. I do it that way so we can cover more ground. We can ask actually more questions without really dragging it out. So they're going to be asked one question, and they have the opportunity to ask each other one question because they are running against people in the same office. All right. If they so choose. If you don't want to ask them any questions, you don't have to. All right? And it's going to be the same format for councilors at large. All right? Everybody clear? Any questions for me before we get started? Byron Dorsey. Your first 2 candidates for school committee. Please come up. Give them a hand, please. So, Ms. Dorsey.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to look out into the audience and tell them who you are, what office you are running for, and why you are running.
So my name is Julie Pyram Dorsey. I am running for the Lynn School Committee here in Lynn, Massachusetts. I am running because I am from the city. I am a product of the city. Actually, I almost shed a tear. I saw Mr. Turner walk in and I'm like, oh my goodness. My substitute teacher from back in the 80s and 90s, yes, I graduated from Lynn Classical in 1991. And my goal is to give back to my city in every which way possible. Our education is core to the development of our city. Our students is the production of what our city can do. And we must start there. Our goal is to also help teachers. They're the ones that need us the most. And therefore, I saw myself as not just a teacher in Lynn, which I taught for 7 years, but also to be part of this board that helps implement some decisions for these teachers. I had an opportunity to use the resources, to use softwares. I'm in the classrooms. I know the families and the parents. I've substituted at every single school in Lynn. Every single school I entered those buildings. And so I just wanted to continue to give back. And that's why I ran for office.
All right, thank you. Our next candidate, Mr. Tristan Smith. Tristan, could you please identify yourself? Let the people know the office you're running for and why you are running.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Daryl. Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening. Thank you to the Community Minority Cultural Center for putting this on. My name is Tristan Smith. I'm running for the Lynn School Committee. I've been an educator and working with youth for the past 9 years of my career, largely in the city of Lynn, as a teacher, as a coach, as a mentor, and recently having been named to the city's first Youth and Adolescents Task Force, spearheaded by Councilwoman McLean, who was here. There she is. And throughout those roles, I've gained a really valuable insight into what it is like to work with youth, what it is like to be a teacher and a coach right now in the modern era, post-COVID, in the era of cell phones, in the era of AI. Additionally, I'm a licensed attorney, and I bring that policy side of my brain to the table. And so combining my perspective of working with kids along with my skills for being able to create positive and lasting change is why I'm seeking a seat on the Lynn School Committee. I think I have a perspective to bring that can benefit our teachers, our students, our administrators, and our entire district as a whole. Lynn Public Schools, of course, has its challenges. We all know that. But at the same time, there's tremendous opportunity to build a public school system that can be and will be a model for public school systems everywhere, not just in the Commonwealth, but in the entire country. And that's what we can do. We're already seeing it through creative initiatives that I look forward to becoming involved in and becoming a part of if I'm so fortunate to earn a seat. With that being said, I won't go any longer, but thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to address you tonight.
Familiar question has been part of the theme as I followed the school committee race throughout this election season, but it's something that's very important. And I think that what's going to be even more important is some of the follow-up questions that we have along with this. So this question will be familiar, but at the same time, there will be a follow-up. Ms. Dorsey, the first question we have for you this evening will be, as a school committee member, do you think that the use of cell phones in the classroom should be banned? Now, we know nationwide there has been partial bans. I believe there are 16 states that have a partial ban on cell phones. There's 20 states, I believe, that has a full ban on cell phones. And the others are kind of undecided. I didn't have the data on those. But it's become a hot topic all over the country. And some of the pushback has been, it's a safety issue. But anyways, we're asking this question. Do you think that cell phones should be banned in the city of Lynn? Because again, even in the Commonwealth, Mayor Healy has allowed certain districts have already had partial bans on cell phones. And I think Governor Maura Healy is in favor of banning. But she's letting the districts do what they do according to what they feel in the district. So, that long question, what do you feel about that, the banning of cell phones?
It is a great question. During our TV filming. And as a teacher, I'm currently a high school teacher. I teach in the North Shore. And so it is one of those, it's not the easiest thing to implement at times. I've seen some pushback, and I've seen some rebuttal from not only parents, but obviously the teens. And it's almost to meet them halfway, is to say, yes, this is now the law. Oh, 30 seconds. It's the law, and I want a balance. And if we as teachers are keeping kids engaged, we won't need to have to enforce it too much because they won't have time to use it. And so I am in agreement to have the, plus not to have the distraction in class, but yet have it on close by in case of an emergency.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you. It is an excellent question and something being discussed today. I am in favor of banning cell phones while in class. And the reason being that it is extremely difficult for our students, and frankly, all of us, to learn with these devices around us, even just on the table in front of us. Studies have shown that just having the cell phone in your vision takes your mind off of what you're supposed to be focusing on. And in order to ensure, our students think they're multitasking, they're task switching. They're only paying attention to either what's in front of them or the teacher who's supposed to be instructing. My reservation about such this policy is in the teacher's place in enforcing it. We have to make sure the administration has our teachers' backs. You can't have one teacher who's very strict enforcing it and another teacher who lets it go by, because that ruins uniformity, and at the end of the day it will undermine both teachers' ability to oversee their own classrooms. So we need to make sure that we, the school committee, and the administration have our teachers' backs if we're going to expect them to follow this policy. Thank you.
My follow-up question to that question would be this for both of you, something to just ponder a little bit before I let you answer. My personal opinion is that cell phones should be banned from the Lynn Public Schools and in the classroom, because most of us have these devices now, but if you have one of these devices, they can be very addictive and they are very distracting. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that each and every one of us have gone to school, right? We have gone to school ourselves. So to have something like that, you know how distracting it can be. Because you know that you're trying to learn, and you're trying to multitask all of these different things. We've all been students. So imagine having a device like that at your beck and call, and you're still trying to learn. I cannot see that being an advantage. Now you might say, hey, what about the safety issue? I say this, and when asked poses the question at the same time. Are there still school resource officers in the schools? Are there still hall monitors there for security? Are teachers still in these schools? If we were to have an active shooter situation in a school, just say if we had all the students check their cell phones with the teacher, all right? So the teacher has access to all the phones in a basket, whatever it may be. The teacher's cell phone is not checked. The teacher can alert officials if she needs to. There's school resource officers monitoring the hallways there. There's principals, vice principals, guidance counselors. All these adults in this school have access to cell phones. So if we have an emergency situation in a school, I'm sure somebody in there can call from the outside. And as frequent as we think that these school shootings happen, they're still rare overall. They are still rare. And you have to trust and have some policies in place that make the adults that are in that school be responsible for the children that are in that school. You should not put the onus on the child to protect themselves, to call their parents at every little whim. No, you should not, all right? That is my opinion. What do you say, Tristan?
Hearing from parents, and I understand the concern. But overall, Daryl, I agree. I agree that, we already have teachers and school resource officers in place that, heaven forbid, there is an emergency situation, we can ensure that the word gets out and folks know about it. I almost think the last thing that we want is all the students, again, God forbid, there is an emergency situation at a school, all of the students calling their parents and their parents rushing down there. And suddenly there's a flood of even more people involved in the situation. At the same time, I think we should be able to have instances where if there is something going on at home, or if there is something where a parent really needs to be able to get a hold of their child because there's something occurring, that there can be perhaps an exception to the rule for the day. Because I do hear that argument from parents, and parents should have the right to be able to reach out to their kids. But their kids need to have the right to an uninterrupted education as well. Because sometimes mom is just texted to say, I'm picking you up at the other side of the street today, and that can wait until non-class time.
Agreed.
The cell phone is definitely a distraction, absolutely. And which is why when you have an engaged classroom, it should not be a device that's distracting the students. Absolutely. There is a liability issue as well when you have students recording other students or student recording teachers. Absolutely. But we need to also be a resource to parents because this is a habit that's being created not just at school, but in our society overall. And we almost need extracurricular activities where they implement the same things, where they don't have the cell phones, where it becomes a norm, where it's just not one of those things that need to be used. And as adults, we need to be examples of that. Sorry, I have my cell phone out. But it's a whole societal issue. And I think that as we're starting in the classroom, we should implement it all around.
Thank you for that.
Kristen, do you have any questions for me?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Well, Julie, I'd love to know, you're running to join the Lynn School Committee, as I am as well.
Yes.
With the new superintendent taking the reins, is there any new initiative that you're particularly excited to work with the new superintendent on? Is there anything that you're looking forward to taking on your first day as a school committee member in January?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, one of the projects that was being worked on from our former superintendent was the transition of Fect O'Leary. Fect O'Leary is my heart. I worked there for 7 years. And we relocated that school to another building. And I would love to see a follow-up happening so those folks and those students don't feel that they were just dropped off. Actually, my students are part of my campaign, and there were resources we have for Fecto students that's not there at the bank anymore. We don't have a gym there, we don't have raw arts there. So there's plenty of resources that's missing in that building, although it's a beautiful opportunity, but they really need some of the social emotional therapy that they had at Fecto. And then we have a construction happening. Would love to see the impact of that. My background's construction, so I would love to see what the implementation from the old building to this new one. So that would be my baby. Tristan, my question to you.
Yes.
Have you ever worked in the public school in Lynn? I know you're at St. Mary's now.
Yeah. So I have. So I worked as a substitute teacher in Lynn as well. I did not substitute at every school. I can't say that. That's very impressive. And I also worked as an early college professor. I was employed by North Shore, but I was working with Lynn Public School students in the Frederick Douglass Collegiate Academy, as well as teaching an early college course in public speaking at Lynn Tech. How am I doing? But so yes, so I have worked in Lynn Public Schools. I've also worked with Lynn Public School students as a track and field coach. I'm the president and co-founder of All Lynn Track and Field, and we put on the annual Lynn All City Cross Country and Track and Field meets. And we've also given away thousands of dollars in scholarships to Lynn student athletes when they graduate from Lynn Public Schools. So, yeah.
All right, thank you both. Thank you both for that. All right. Ladies first, closing statements.
So I am calling for folks to go out November 4th. November 4th, I'm number 4. Would love one of your votes, one of the 6 votes for Lynn School Committee. I'm truly excited to serve my city. I've been doing it for a number of years as a homeowner of 31 years, Ward 7. I am just excited to push forward to do whatever I need to do to help in any which way I can.
Thank you for that. Kristen, your closing statement?
Absolutely. Well, thank you all again for being here, and thank you for participating in democracy. This is what it takes, is candidates and the public coming together and engaging in these dialogues. Thank you, Julie, for being an excellent partner up here. Folks, my name is Tristan Smith. I'm running for the Lynn School Committee. I'm an attorney, I'm an activist, I'm an educator, and these are the skills and perspectives I hope to bring to Lynn Public Schools. I'm following the footsteps of my aunt, Deborah Smith Walsh, and my father, Jimmy Smith, who served this city for many years. I'm hoping to pick up the baton right where they left it, pardon the track coach pun, and I hope that I can earn one of your 6 votes on November 4th. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you both. your opening statement. We're going to start with Brenda. You go first.
Excellent. So I want to thank you, Daryl, for having us this evening, Community Brotherhood, and thank you all for being here this evening and for hearing from us. So my name's Brenda Ortiz-McGrath. I've been a resident here for 12 years, and Lynn has become home. And I'm an educator. I'm a lifelong educator. I've been in education for over 20 years. I started off as a school-based social worker, and at one point did social work at the Cobbett Elementary School, where I was one social worker for 900 students. I then worked my way up in leadership, became an associate principal, and then became the proud principal of Waltham High School, and that was the community I grew up in. That transition was quite challenging. Even though I'm a light-skinned Latina, I still did not fit the mold. And that was very obvious. So I was really looking for a community that would embrace me as a woman leader, but also as a Latina. So I am now a district administrator for Chelsea Public Schools. I've been there for 4 years now. I oversee all of the mental health related supports, the specialized student supports, and the social emotional learning district initiative. I've developed and implemented a large SEL district initiative, and I'm also a consultant, and I support schools with multi-tiered support systems and attendance related issues. For me, I'm very actively involved in the community. I'm also vice president of the Lynn Hispanic Scholarship Fund. I've been vice president for the past 2 years, but I've been involved with the organization for the past 4 years. I also sit on the Housing Trust Fund board with Mayor Nicholson and doing some work around housing affordability. And recently, I'm a proud endorsee of Neighbor to Neighbor, as well as the Democratic municipal officials. So really proud of being endorsed by our student leaders within the community. So 30 seconds, thank you for warning me. So my hope is, again, improving student outcomes overall. It's my heart, it's my passion, it's my lifelong work. And that is why I'm running for school committee to work with our educators, our schools, and our families in the community. Thank you.
Project better, okay?
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Don't stop that clock yet. All right, my name is Stacy Bryant Brown. I am a court officer at Lynn Juvenile Court. I've been a juvenile court officer for over 30 years. And I stand for you before you today is because I am a candidate for the Lynn School Committee. And my kids, as I always say, my kids, they need a voice. And that voice is me. They deal with struggles where that they had struggles like challenges, like whether it be mental health, poverty, trauma, family instability. They need a voice that knows their struggles, knows what they've been through, knows what they're going through, knows what works and knows what doesn't work. And right now they don't have it. And their support is me. I listen to them. I listen to their stories. I guide them. I encourage them. I work along beside them. I listen, because let me tell you something. Every child has a story. And once you get to know that story, and they begin to trust you because they know that you care. And once you earn their trust, then they begin to want to thrive. They know that someone cares. Who doesn't want to go to a school where someone cares? And I think that's part of the attendance problem. There should be some consistency, communication, build relationships. That's what I do every day at work. Relationships with the parents as well. I always ask, so how are you doing? How's school? I ask the parent as well. Because that's what they need. They need that support. And they're not getting that support. And that support is me. They need that voice. We need a seat at that table where decisions are made. So I stand for you again as a candidate for school committee. Because these kids, they need a chance. I want to break that chain from school to the prison pipeline. There's a better way. It's called success. It's called tools to life. Tools for life. Let me say one more thing. One more thing. Okay. What I mean by that, you got enrollment, enlistment, education, entrepreneurship. One of the four. Better than be sitting in the courtroom with me. I mean, I love it, but I'd rather see them succeed in life.
The first question that we have for you ladies is going to be this. We know that there's a new school being built, Pickering Junior High School, all right? With the large influx of people we have coming into the city of Lynn, the school system is exploding, all right? In order to keep up with this, what can we do as a community to alleviate the overcrowding that's in Lynn Public Schools on all levels, and maybe have something in place to ensure that this is not an ongoing problem for us. Now, I say that from my own experience and as time has gone by. I remember a number of years ago, this problem was talked about over 20, 30 years ago, all right? What they did was they expanded the school in Pine Hill, which is, I can't think of the name of it right now, I'm drawing a blank. Sue Anderson. They had an addition on the Sue Anderson. They had an addition onto Ingalls. And they also, at the same time, were looking to build a new classical, which they did do. And they had an extension on to Lynn English. All right? All these things were done, and they also built the new Thurgood Marshall to try to alleviate this problem. But here we are again. Here we are again. What can we do to be proactive in eliminating the overcrowding of our schools and not having kids out in these little modules outside of the schools that are up in the Highlands at the Ford School? You see them outside of Lynn English. These little modules they're putting out there like trailers, right? We know that this is happening. We have to be proactive. What can we do to deal with this overcrowding issue? We're going to start with Stacy.
I have to stand up. So, that's a good question, Darryl. I have been asked that question in 2023. Apparently, there's no change. In order to, here again, 2 years later, still overcrowded, still the same thing. So, I would say, going forward, building new schools, we need to plan to have more students enrolled at this school going forward. Not just for that 2,000, maybe 2,500. I'm just saying, just giving a number. Instead of being like for the exact number of students, Lynn is growing. So going forward, we need to make the schools bigger classrooms, just bigger schools, because right now it's just going to continue to grow and nothing's had changed. And sometimes you just gotta, it's easier said than done. You just gotta do the best of what we have. Financially, we don't have it.
Okay. All right, I think the follow-up question will probably be to both.
Okay.
All right, Brenda, do you need me to repeat the question?
No, I think I got it.
Okay.
Thank you. So I think systemically, you have to look at a number of issues, right? So you need to look at the funding formula with the MSBA and how they're funding their schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some inequities that exist when it comes to funding. So, and you have to also consider, you have to look at the structures of the buildings, and our buildings are outdated. However, they're not growing in size. And we know our student body is growing, and we know we have newcomers coming into the city every day. So you really need to, really come up with a 10-year plan to be able to do this level of work. You need to do an audit of all your buildings. You need to know what structures exist, what the classroom sizes look like. You have to have a full understanding of the larger scope. It's easy to say build ground up. However, ground up is not always possible, especially with the funding structures and the way they look now. Our urban districts are hurting. And that's the reality of it. When you look in the comparison of the monies that are received by urban districts in comparison to suburban communities, it is very clear that suburban communities are being taken care of. So really it is looking at the local structures, but also considering the state level structures when it comes to funding. And I'll stop there.
Okay. All right, was that the ending bell or the 30-second bell?
Ending bell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's only one bell, the ending bell.
All right, thank you very much. very much for those answers. But my follow-up question to this would be this, as a suggestion too. Knowing that we have an overcrowding problem and an expanding population here in the city of Lynn, we have a number of, like you said, ongoing immigrants, and along with refugees coming into the city. They're coming in constantly. We know that this is happening, right? We don't have the answer to that right now. So I think I'm going to piggyback off Stacy a little bit. I might be putting words in her mouth, but this is just what I think about what she was saying, and Brenda as well. Everything starts with money, all right? It starts with that. And from my understanding, again, I might be a little bit behind the times. You guys that are actively running can bring me up to speed. When you are in a position that you need to build new schools, you have to lobby the state, all right, to say that you need a new facility. And the state will give you 85 to 90% reimbursement for building these schools. At one time, that was it. Maybe these numbers are off now, but the point being that the regular person does not know is that along with money that's coming from the budget in the city, there is money that you can get to reimburse to help build a new school. Now, when you do something like that, I think this is where I think what Stacy was kind of saying a little bit, I'm jumping in on this, is that if you, say for instance, the Lynn Public Schools is around 17 to 18,000 students, all right? Just say that at a high school level, if there's 2,000 students in a high school, and you have 4 classes in that high school, all right? 4 classes in the high school. You know what each class is going to produce each year. Just say, for instance, it's 400. 400 per class, that gives you 1,200 for the school, or 1,600 for the school, all right? Now, if there's 400 people per class, and you're building a new school, you have to build a school that can accommodate more than 400. Don't just build it to accommodate 400, you're gonna end up with the same problem. Be bold. Take a chance. Build a school that's gonna be maybe even twice that size. So now you don't deal with this problem again for another 20, 30 years, maybe. Or even maybe half the size, a size and a half, all right? Instead of building for 4, build it for 600 per class. Something like that. I think you might get my gist, all right? Or 800 per class instead of 400 per class. You have to be proactive because this is gonna occur again. You already know it. Unless you stem the tide of people that are moving into the city. And that's gonna lead me to another question that I have for the city councils at large. That's coming. So thank you, that's my follow-up question. What about being proactive, ladies? I think that you guys just mentioned something about that. That's what I thought maybe Stacy was going with, the numbers. I'm just throwing them around in my head when she was saying. But that's something to ponder, all right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to ask Stacy, so I know with your work in probation, how do you see, court officer, how do you see yourself integrating into school committee, especially when there's areas around curriculum and instruction? There is, I think you do well with student-related supports. How would you support the schools with curriculum and instruction, supporting educators with resources and tools and supports, and also being able to work with students, especially when we talk about the prison pipeline, right? And we talk about those current, how do you see yourself really embedding into the school system? Yeah.
Well, like I said before, as far as the kids go that are in the system, they need the same education. They need education. I know how to advocate for them. It's not just because I'm not in education, that doesn't mean that I don't know how to advocate for them or anybody else. They deserve to be educated as well as everybody else. I mean, we have kids coming through the court system that cannot read, which is not very good at all. They are all entitled to an education, and I can advocate on their behalf, not just because of they're in the system, but they need a chance. I mean, they need to be educated. I mean, I love my job, but I don't enjoy putting handcuffs on them and turning that key and locking the door. I'd rather see them walk across the stage. Does that answer your question?
No, 100%. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate that.
No, I don't have a question.
No question?
No questions.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Your closing statement? Closing statement, Stacy?
I'm asking you for your vote. And if you believe every child deserves to have support, dignity, and an opportunity, this voice is asking you for your vote on November 4th. I am number 9 on the ballot. And I thank you all for listening. I thank you all for coming out, and thank you so much, Daryl. Thank you, Shantae, for filming. Thank you.
First, I want to thank all of you for having us here this evening. I think this is incredible and a really good opportunity to connect with all of the constituents and residents here in the city. Again, I am asking for one of your 6 votes. I'm also number 3 on the ballot. I am a lifelong educator. I'm a mother. I'm also a resident here in the city who really just wants to improve student outcomes and have the opportunity. I'd love to work with everybody that's running for school committee. I think we all have something really strong to offer, and I think we all come with very different lenses and experiences. I've worn many hats in the school system, from a school social worker to a high school principal to now a district administrator. And for me, it really comes from my own personal lived experiences as a former ESL student myself, and knowing that the opportunities that have been offered to me is what I really want to give back to the community, and give back to all of our students and our families. And I appreciate Stacy and her experience and what she brings to the table, and I think she's also an incredible candidate, and support her 100%. So thank you. So thank you all.
All right, ladies, just one second, please. Thank you for your answers. I really appreciate that. This is a little bit off script, but the Bishop, Anthony Bennett, do you have a question for either one of these candidates or for maybe even me? Go ahead.
Sure, I got a question for all of them. My question is this: we're talking about influx.
Could you come up front, Doctor? Because we're videotaping.
No, I'm good here. They can see my bald head.
Okay, let's go. Let's go with that.
Influx of people that come into Lynn and the budget. I think one of the #1 priorities should be the kids that's coming in here. When you look around Lynn, every little space, they're building apartments. They're taxing the owners and all the other rich people that come and building their buildings in Lynn. Those commercial people should be paying more money to increase the budget, because the rents are not cheap. All right. So what I'm actually saying here, as the school committee working, they need to start to really look at what is happening here. And I listened to Stacy, and I'm thinking about what she had to say. You may say she's not in the school system, but she's doing a fantastic job where she's at, because she's trying to help those kids get out of prison and get them back into society. That's important, all right? Because most of the teachers, they just come to work and they do what they do, and then they go home. If you're a mother and care about families, you don't want to see your children with handcuffs and going to jail. So it's a tough job to be in her position. And she didn't ask me to say anything. I haven't seen her for years. Anyhow, but I'm listening to what is being said, all right? And all those things have to be taken into consideration. Let's focus on the youngsters, and especially those that do not have leaders in their family. They need to be empowered. They need to be supported throughout their school years.
Thank you, Bishop. Appreciate it.
In schools, but we're not talking about the teachers. You know, we don't have enough teachers, for one. You know, and we're not paying these teachers enough money to make them to want to. We're losing teachers all the time. We're losing teachers, you know, because we're not paying them. And they have a tough job. They have a really tough job. So you're asking them, and they're already doing all the things that they can do. You know, they're being the nursemaid, they're being the supporter, they're being all these things. And we need to start supporting these teachers as well, you know, and we need to make it so people that they want to become teachers, because we have a shortage of teachers. And as far as the buildings, you know, you can't, it doesn't matter if we have bigger buildings if we don't have enough teachers to teach the kids. So we have to encourage, we have to do some encouraging as far as keeping the teachers in the system, paying them well, because they deserve twice what they get. You know, they're spending their own money for supplies and everything. So we don't have the teachers, we don't have anything. That's pretty much what I have to say.
All right, thank you. We have Ms. Lorraine Gately and Brian Castellano. They are incumbents. They are already on the school committee. So, ladies first. Lorraine, would you like to make your opening statement, please?
Yes, a lot of you know me. I probably had some of your students in my class. I've taught in Lynn Public Schools for 33 and a half years. And then I retired and went on the school committee, or tried to and lost, but then I tried again and got on it. And in the interim, I taught at St. Mary's Introduction to Engineering Design till 2020. And I love teaching. I'm really tired right now, but it's my birthday and I'm gonna finish strong. I'm here because I'm dedicated. Like, a lot of people like to spend it with their families, but not Lorraine Gately. She's here talking to everybody in this room, and I would be here no matter what. So I love kids. I've been working my butt off, trying to resolve the teacher shortage, trying to resolve the buildings issue. I'm the chair of Buildings and Grounds. I've been pushing the Pickering. I'm so happy to say the back walls are up now, the foundation's going in, the parking lot's almost done, we're building. I'm on the personnel subcommittee. I sat on 21 interview committees this year, and they take hours. And then on top of that, I'm on the curriculum subcommittee, and I literally work with Andrea Satterwhite, and she's an excellent chair of the curriculum subcommittee, and I work with Brian Castellanos on Buildings and Grounds. I'm dedicated. I'm a lifelong Lynner. I've been here my whole life, and I love it. Just love it, and I'm going to finish strong. After I get elected, I'm going to finish that Pickering, and we're going to have new students in it, and all this overcrowded information that you were asking about, I will give you tonight. Thank you.
Tough act to follow, honestly. This is one of my role models, so it's kind of hard that you set me up with someone that's this seasoned. But I've learned a lot from Lorraine, as I've actually served on the school committee for 8 years. And a lot of the reason why I served is due to the folks who were part of Lynn Public Schools. As a first generation low income kid, I'm a first generation success story. First one of my family to go to college, youngest of a large family. I'm now a Lynn homeowner.
Great.
I broke generational cycles. Now I have a daughter. This term, I have a 1.5-year-old. I don't know how it happened, but she is the pride and joy. My wife, too, is someone who always encouraged me to never give up when you're tired. These moments are very important. I think it's so crucial and critical to really stand up to the systems. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. I'm a licensed child protective social worker. I have a decade of experience navigating some of the most vicious cycles of poverty, especially those that impact children. I take protected children very seriously. I am a supervisor of a regional specialty unit that deals with some of the most horrendous child abuse cases in the Commonwealth. So for a living, I protect vulnerable children, and I take that very serious. And I bring that same seriousness and commitment to the school committee. My part on the school committee is really simple. Frank Warren has a quote, it's the children the world almost breaks that grow up to save it. I was one of those children. So anyone that has a child that goes through Lynn Public Schools, I take it that serious. Their education is serious to me. And it's my role and obligation to make sure that I'm outside in the community, engaging folks of the whole city. We're in charge of a pretty large budget. Your priorities are reflected in the budget. I take a lot of pride in my fiscal responsibility. As a union member for SEIU 509, I'm a statewide 509 trustee, and part of that, I'm gonna close it off, is I know how to protect and safeguard your money. Very important.
Eric Dugan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to come up. No, I'm going a little bit off script myself, to kind of rethought some things here. We're gonna have these three candidates at the same time. And Eric,
Yeah.
give your opening statement.
All right, sure. So my name's Eric Dugan. Thank you for having us tonight. And Daryl, thank you for hosting. So I am seeking re-election to I'm seeking re-election to the school committee, and it will be my third term should I be re-elected. And over the course of the years that I've been on, I'm a public school teacher. I've brought that voice to the committee, which I think has been very, very important. Being a teacher, being a public school teacher, I understand what teachers are up against. I teach in a very different community. I do teach in Danvers and England, obviously. But I get the grind. I get what our teachers are up against. I get, the day-to-day, things that they're trying to do. And I've been very supportive of our teachers. I'm endorsed by the Lynn Teachers Union. I've been endorsed by my local union, the Danvers Teachers Association, which also has helped MTAs come in involved in my campaign too, so they're very involved. So education is very important to me. My wife is a Lynn Public Schools teacher. She teaches at Shoemaker. Education is very, very important to me and my family. And that's why I'm here, and I'm here to serve. I love Lynn. I love our city. Both of my children were raised here. They went to Lynn Woods, Pickering, and Classical. They both did very, very well. I'm proud of both of them. And I just love Lynn, and I love serving, and that's the way I was brought up, and so that's what I'm doing, I try to stay in my lane. I'm a teacher. This is, I'm not a politician. I'm a teacher. That's sort of my phrase, and this is my lane right now. And, I think I can help the city with my insight in education. I know I can help the city with my insight in education, and I'm confident that's what I've been doing the last 2 terms, and I'm asking for one of your votes to be there for a third, so thank you.
Eric, this is like a follow-up, but I think this might be better. The final question we have for the school committee candidates right here is this. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of just the changes that's going on in society. Well, a lot of people were thinking that a college education is not what it used to be, right? You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to send your kids to higher education. And some people are thinking that it may be better off if my child had gone to a technical school. Lynn Tech, we have a technical school right within our own midst. You could be a plumber, you could be an electrician, you could be a carpenter, you could do auto body shop, cosmetology, all these different things. But in particular, the trades, where people are making a great living being tradesmen, all right? So now what it's created a situation where Lynn Vocational and Technical Institute has been such a hot ticket that kids can't get into Lynn Tech. I was stunned to hear this, right? The reason why that sends off an alarm bell to me is that, again, I'm going back a number of years. When I was coming up in school, everyone was not, just say had the ambition to go on to college. They were better working with their hands. They felt more comfortable doing those types of things. So this was an alternative for a child who was not going on to higher education. Now, I'm hearing that Lynn Tech kids can't get into Lynn Tech. So my question was early on to people in the community that had the knowledge that I didn't have. I said, is Lynn Tech now an exam school? Our kids do they have to take an exam to get into Lynn Vocational and Technical Institute? And the answer was given to me was no, they don't. I said, then how are you determining who can go to Lynn Tech? They didn't have a good answer for this, but the school committee has since established a lottery to go to Lynn Tech. Even with this, I'm saying, if you have a lottery for kids to go to Lynn Tech, there's gonna be kids left out. You got kids that are going on to higher education, and now you have kids that enter into this lottery system that can get into Lynn Tech. What happens to the other kids? What happens to them? They don't want to go to college. They might not be able to go to college. They want to take out a trade, but their name was not picked out of this lottery system. What happens to them? That's my question. So when I turn to school committee members here, do you have an answer? What happens to those kids that are not fortunate enough to be able to be chosen by this lottery, and they don't want to go to higher education? What happens to them? Whatever do.
All right, there we go. Well, thank you. It's a great question. So the lottery system, yes, the school committee did approve it. We actually did that 2 meetings ago, I believe. It wasn't that long ago. It's a state thing, so that did come from the state. So the lottery is something that the state is requiring of vocational schools to do. We're unique in Lynn because we're not a regional one, but the rest of them are regional. You know, for example, if you the one in Danvers is escaping me, but that's a regional school. You know, kids from Peabody can go there, kids from Beverly can go there, kids from Danvers can go there. So the state came in and they want people to do a lottery. So that's what we had to do. To get to your question, what are kids going to do that don't get into tech? What we're working on right now, and our new superintendent, our interim superintendent, Cohen, presented a plan to get into English and classical, more programs that will be attractive to kids that, now we can't bring trades there, right? We don't have the space for that, but we will be able to offer more programs that will be more attractive for kids like that. You know, more coding, one sec, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go over a little bit, more coding, business classes, so they can, you know, be entrepreneurial, and if they get that business piece, when they graduate, they can then take the trades, and they'll have the business part as well. That's the plan. It's not perfect, I know, but it's the hand we've been dealt.
That's the plan now, right?
It's the plan now. Yeah. So
Okay.
I said too much though, but yeah.
I'm not clear on this. We're gonna follow up on this.
All right.
Brian, you go right ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty frustrated with that
Because I think that, no, what I'm saying is, I'm gonna let you answer this. I think it's gonna take 3, maybe even possibly 6 people to answer this question the way we wanna hear it, right? Brian, go right ahead.
No, I'm frustrated because when you get a trade, you get it made. Career technical education is where the jobs are. It can really break cycles of poverty. You know, that first union job, that first opportunity to really get a high-paying opportunity to learn a trade. Academics, like you said, Daryl's not for everybody. We need to make sure that we increase pathways and access to that. The lottery did come about through the state. The conversation before that, Mr. Gallo, the Lynn Tech principal, was trying to figure out ways to have interviews, have other weighted systems, but that, you know, there was issues with that process. And then they highlighted those issues to us, which ultimately we had to be obviously proactive for how we're going to react to that system change. But with that being said, we have to get aggressive with partnership development. I think every school should have co-ops and pathways to the trades, whether it's after dark programs. I know some other regional tech institutes have, oh wow. You can call me at 781-346-3087. No, seriously, we can have a real conversation about this, because I don't think that's this 1 minute. Like, I'll do respect. You should call everyone on the school committee. Take that question, send it to everybody. I think I'll call everyone up. We can talk about it.
All right.
Respectfully. That's a really important question. It's serious. It's hard.
And maybe Lorraine can clear this whole thing up.
She's a closer.
Yes, I am. I'm the closer.
We set her up.
So, he set me up really nicely mentioning the After Dark program. I just wanted to give you a little history on that. What happened with the After Dark program is I was doing a government class over at Classical, and these kids that didn't get accepted to tech because they didn't behave themselves in middle school couldn't get into tech. and they wanted to be doing a craft. I brought that to, I believe, Dr. Tubwile, that concern. We started the After Dark program, where students can actually go to the regular high school, English, classical, and then go over to tech at night and pick up the trade of their choice. That is in place. We also started a CASA Academy, which is a STEAM academy at Fecto O'Leary. And in the 9th through 12th grade, it's a brand new school, there are gonna be pathways for them to move through and pick the college of their, not college, but their career of their choices. We also moved the skills program over to the brand new Briarcliff. Teams. I couldn't finish.
Okay.
You want me to just finish up? We moved those. We got 300 more spots opened up at Tech, so more students could go to Tech.
Okay, so I wasn't clear on that. How did you open up 300 more spots?
I believe it is. Wasn't it 3?
300 more.
Yeah.
300 more seats.
300 more seats.
We added 300 more seats when we purchased the new Virginia Barton Center, which was the old Briarcliff Lodge.
Yep.
Kids of the Teens program, medically assisted kids and skills, went over there. So that opened up space for 300 more students, more classes, more room for kids taking careers.
Yes.
That's it.
So that
So
happened.
they will be at the old Briarcliff Lodge?
No,
Is that what
Virginia Barton Center, which was the old Briarcliff Lodge,
Okay.
that opened up 300 seats, so we have more enrollment now at Tech. And it's still not enough. We have, like you said, there's a lot of issues we face. Lynn is the second city, right, compared to Boston. I think we're like 542 compared, and Boston has like 600 something. We have like 40, 50 L's shorter than Boston, and we don't even get the money that Boston. We don't even have the size as Boston. So there's a lot of issues that happen with Lynn.
We're opening up the Discovery Academy, which is 8th grade only. For Tech, it's going to be 300 students to that too, to alleviate the overcrowded classrooms in the middle schools. I can go on, but I already used my time. And Lenny butt in. Lenny butt in.
No, okay. No, we're good with that. Again, my follow-up question to that would be, if we're talking about, if I heard you correctly, there's a after dark program where people that maybe went to classical or went to Lynn English could go to where Thurgood Marshall?
No, they go to Tech. They go to Tech after school hours.
It's on the radar.
Yeah.
All right, so
In the evening,
in the evening, students that are
from 3 to 5, I think it is.
It's a little bit later, but it's in the evening. Yeah. Yeah.
all right, so in the evening, maybe 3 to 5 or whatever it may be, that's
Whatever it
considered
may be.
evening hours, right?
Take
Okay.
a shot.
So they're leaving whatever school they're in, right?
Get bus.
It could be just it's English or it's classical, and they come to Lynn Tech,
Yep.
and they take a trade there
Yes.
for another 2 hours.
Yes. Or more. It
Is
could
that
be more.
sufficient? 2 hours?
No,
Would-
no.
would
or
that be
more.
sufficient?
It could be more. I'm not sure on the time.
I don't know of the exact time. And to answer your question, no, it is not sufficient, but it is definitely something we need to work on as a committee. But like I said, it's the cards we're dealt right now, but things are in place. Like you said, the Teams program has opened up more seats. That's the 8th grade Discovery program, we're opening up more seats. Tech is our gem right now, and we're doing everything we can.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is this.
Can I talk?
Yeah, because we were.
I had something I wanted to say because it was important.
Go ahead, it's important, go ahead.
So we have to be aggressive with that expansion, with the E team. If you look at GE, their industry, there's so much grant capacity available that we're catching on now. So we have to make sure that we're eligible. So we have to be very aggressive with the electrical, plumbing, all those industries. The forecast down the road, the trends, they're going to be such a high need, and we need to have Lynn kids get those jobs. And that's the bottom line. We have to get aggressive with it. And I believe career technical education, when you look at AFT, all the unions, I'm a union endorsed candidate from LTU. My teachers union did endorse me. My union also endorsed me. And that's the conversation we're having. We need to make sure that we're getting competitive in this city with our career technical education pathways. And it's not just at Lynn Tech, like you're saying, but we have to get eligible, and we have to get aggressive with how we're gonna attack the resources to get that. GE just gave us a whole pipeline. We have a biotech lab. We have to get industry-based partnerships, and we have to get aggressive with it. And I agree.
The other part, we just got a huge grant to improve our auto mechanics. So that's improving over at Tech as well. So Tech is,
And our machine shop.
yeah,
It's a priority.
machine shops.
I'm
Tech
gonna
is a
hold it
priority.
off right there
Yeah.
because again, it's.
Sorry.
No, it's just, there's a lot to it. Yeah,
should've been
I don't
right
have a lot of
here.
time for it.
That's why we have
I'm
two
sorry,
more
yeah.
school committee members that can address that.
Yeah, sorry.
We have two more people.
One of them already started.
But again, I knew that this would happen, all right? Because I think that's very important, and I'm very anxious to see what Andrea Satterwhite and Lyndon Pena will have in tying this up to make us feel comfortable with what you've already said, all right? Because you guys are incumbents, right? As are they. So they are privy to the same information you're privy to. So I'm gonna give them an opportunity to answer this question. So we're gonna have your closing statement, Lorraine, go right ahead.
Buildings and grounds is my, committee. And all these things that are happening in Lynn, in our schools, all these pathways, I have been overseeing with Brian Castellanos, and who else is on the committee with me? Oh, it was Sean Reed, but he's leaving, so one of them's gonna step in. But the bottom line is, we're always thinking, we're always looking, listening to our students, listening to the teachers, hearing what they're saying. This is not working, this is what I need, this is where I wanna go. And I'm trying to help them get those pathways on this committee. And I'm number 2 on the ballot, and my name is Lorraine Gately. I'm going for my 6th term, and I'm going because I want to be there when I cut that ribbon of the new Pickering Middle School that I've worked for 10 years to get built, because it will be built in 2027. I want to see our students following the pathways that they need to survive. I want to make sure that we have after-school programs to help them if they need help. Like Tony Seaforth's, I push that program for the athletics. Vote for me, Lorraine Gately. Number 2.
All right, thank you, Lorraine. Brian, closing statement, 1 minute, please, timekeepers.
For having me tonight. I'm a representative that listens. I'm empathetic. I have relentless compassion for the work. I have a lived experience as a kid who comes from the mud. As a first generation low income kid, I walk every day with gratitude. I thank God that I get the opportunity to do what I got to do. It took a village. The city of Lynn, I owe a lot to, especially the school systems and the people around this community who uplifted me during some of the hardest times of my life. I'm very qualified. I have 8 years of doing this. I'm a leader that takes action. I don't really sit around to reprioritize things that are not important to the community. Your input and your priorities get to the table. There's many of you that have called upon me to take, and I take accountability. I think that's crucial for every elected official. You got to put your money where your mouth is. I think you got to walk the walk, and I've been doing that for the last 8 years. I'm grateful. Vote for me. One of you 6, please.
All right. Well, thank you for having us. That was a great conversation we just had, and I'm anxious to hear the end of it. But Eric Dugan, and I love the city of Lynn. I love Lynn. I love where I live. And it's why I do what I do. It's why I'm running for school committee. It's why I put myself out there. This isn't easy, and I compliment everybody that's put themselves out there to do this. It's not an easy thing to do, to put yourself out there, open yourself to criticism. But that's why I do it, because I love Lynn, and I want to give back, and I want to help. And like I said earlier, my lane is education, and that's how I can help the city, and that's how I know I help the city. So on November 4th, please consider me, Eric Dugan, lucky number 7.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate you.
I'm Michael Fana. I'm running for city council at large. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at home right now.
My wife is asking for help, so so I'm getting back. So I appreciate you guys work with me. I am a father of young children. My wife and I, live here in Lynn. We own a home. We're very invested in the city. I'm a product of Lynn Public Schools. My children will be in public schools, so thank you guys for your work. But I'm number 3 on the ballot for at-large. I'm very passionate about the city. As one of the youngest people running for city council, I want to show other young folks that this is something they can do. They should be civically engaged. Frankly, there's not enough of us involved in the process at every level. And I also want to be there, engaged with some of these challenges coming into our community. There's a lot of challenges around affordability. There's a lot of challenges around housing. A lot of challenges around staying informed, having communication with the city. And those are a lot of my priorities. I would love to be there to serve you and to be there as a representative of our community. So if you voting, remember November 4th, I'm sure we're all saying it, at large, number 3, Jean-Michael Fana. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go change a diaper.
All right. We have our last 2 candidates for the Lynn School Committee here. They are both incumbents, current members of the Lynn School Committee. I'm going to have them introduce themselves and tell you why they are running for that office. We're going to start with ladies first, Ms. Andrea Satterwhite.
Hi, I'm Andrea Satterwhite. I come from a community of leaders. Some of you guys know my grandfather, Eddie Battle, who's a legacy in the city.
Yeah.
I am a lifelong Lynn resident who attended Ingalls, Marshalls, and Tech. Actually also an LVTI Hall of Fame inductee. And I majored in health technology there, went on to be a nurse practitioner from Salem State, and then I got my master's at Regis, and so I'm currently a nurse practitioner by career. I am a full-time mom. I have 4 children. My youngest is 1, and my oldest is gonna be 18, in between 6 and an 8. But I say that to tell you that I'm going to be in the Lynn Public School System for a very long time. 3 of them are in the public school system. So that's one of the reasons why I've been driven to run, is because I want to be a voice for them, but also other students as well. I want to be that parent voice. And I'm also, this is my first term that I've been on, and I'm seeking re-election for another term. I am the chair of curriculum and for the subcommittee, and then I'm also on policy subcommittee as a member, as well as the personnel subcommittee. So definitely actively involved in the community. Some of you guys know my husband, Michael Satterwhite. So our whole family has definitely had engagement in the city previously. So a lot of people do know us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you, God, for allowing us all to be here. Thank you, Daryl Murkison, everyone who took the time to come out. My name is Lenny Pena. I'm currently serving my 2nd term on the school committee, and I'm seeking the 3rd. I work for the Lynn YMCA, where I volunteer and I mentor many kids throughout the city of Lynn. I'm also the proud owner and founder of Lynn is Against Drug Abuse. We're a nonprofit. We bring resources and information to the community for those seeking help in treatment with addiction. I also work for Lynn Water and Sewer, so I'm always helping constituents all day. I'm a bilingual, candidate here, and I get a lot of calls. And believe it or not, I get calls for sidewalks, trees, everything, and I just connect the dots to help people. I'm a lifelong learner, and as a student, my lived experiences as a student, as a parent, I face many inequities, many things that hardships that many parents have to face, and I remember being a single dad. I had 3 kids with IEPs, and I went looking for help, and I found nothing. There was no instruction for me as a single dad at the time, so I vowed to become that change, and I wanted to be a voice, and I am a voice for those who need a voice and to be heard. And I'm married, and once again, I got smaller children in Lynn Public Schools, so I'm going to be committed again for a while. So, November 4th, I humbly ask for one of your 6 votes to be back on the seat, to be a voice for those who don't feel that they're heard.
All right, thank you for that, Lynn. Okay, final question for school committee people again. I'm going to give you exactly 1 minute, because again, I think that the last question that we posed was something that was very important, and maybe you, as being incumbent members on the school committee, have something to add to something that your colleagues tried to answer to the best of their ability. So if you have anything to add to that, I'm gonna give you that opportunity right now. We'll start with Andrea.
So of course, I went to the bathroom, so when I came back, I was in the middle of a conversation.
I'll start it off so she could catch up.
Okay, let's do that.
Man, so just to add to what my colleagues said, so we're limited with some space, so we got to think outside the box. A collaboration with the city council, the mayor, and the school committee, we're able to purchase the Eastern Bank headquarters, the old Eastern Bank headquarters. That became Frederick Douglass Academy. The old administration came over, and then the old administration building on Bennett Street has become. We open more classrooms for pre-K, and we open more full-time pre-K.
Let me just interject for a second, Lenny.
Yes.
Get back on. I understand all these different things that may be happening for pre-K, and that might be alleviating some of the overcrowding possibly, right? I want to know what's going on with these young people at Lynn Tech.
Okay,
right?
so you
what
want to follow.
happens
Okay.
to the kids that cannot get into Lynn Tech that's now the exam school?
Well, you heard, we opened up 300 more seats, so that opened up more for enrollment, so we had to adopt what the standard came down, which is a lottery. We have to, that's something part of the state that came down, so we had to adopt that. And we also offer after dark, so kids, and they're trying to implement more programs at Lynn English, classical for kids to try to take more trades, so things like gaming, coding. We added biotech now, right, at Lynn Tech, so trying to up more classes, more room like that, and we're, and like Brian said, we're trying to get these, collaborate more unions. GE has some good grants for us, and we're trying to get compliance so we can get those grants and, and bring more stuff for the students at Tech.
Okay. I'm gonna need a little bit more clarity, but I'm gonna move to Andrea right now. I'll go follow-up questions to try to get some clarity on it. Now, Andrea, just so you're clear, Lynn Tech has limited amount of space. There's a number of students that want to go to Lynn Tech, but now they're not able to do so because of overcrowding, whatever it may be. So now you might have a young person who is not going to college, wants to attain a trade, but now he can't or she cannot go to Lynn Tech. So now they go to either classical or English, or their parents pay the $25,000 to go to St. Mary's, whatever it may be, right? So now they're faced with this. So they go back to Lynn Classical, now they're taking college preparatory classes. They go to English, they're taking college preparatory classes that they don't even want, that may not be able to even do. I see kids falling through the cracks. What can we do to enhance the chances of those young people obtaining a trade, maybe getting to Lynn Tech? We need more space. Now, Lenny's alluding to that a little bit, but I need more clarity. I can't imagine that they just created 300 new seats when it's already, I don't see it. I need more clarity on that. What do you have to say?
So I would say, the alternative options that he did mention, the specialized educational programs that we did implement. Unfortunately, the other option is they could families could look into local colleges and programs in that aspect too, where they do have those certification programs. For example, North Shore Community College, they do have those certifications. You can go to Tech and become a certified nursing aide, but you could also go to North Shore and get a certificate program and be a certified nursing assistant.
All right, so a ninth grader, now I take that back, probably eighth grader now, right? An eighth grader coming from Pickering, coming from Breed, now can go to Lynn Tech, North Shore Community College and take a trade?
No, not now. I'm saying following they'd have to go through school, but if you're gonna take a trade, knowing what you're gonna go for, the plan, if you did not get into that program or get into that school, would have to be future planning, right? So then we would have to think about other options, and you could still do what you wanna do at Tech in other places following high school. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, what I'm saying is this: what happens to the eighth grader from Breed and Pickering and Thurgood Marshall? They're 13, they're 14 years old. Where do they go?
Well, they would end up going to an alternative high school, classical or English versus LVTI, unfortunately. So you wouldn't go for a trade.
And what do they do there? They want to take a trade.
We would understand that.
We offer the after dark.
Yes.
after
So
dark.
these 13-year-olds have to go someplace after dark.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's just because of the space and the limit and then the enrollment. We have almost 17,000 students, you know?
I know.
And it's an issue. It's something that's been happening for 30 years. You said they were talking about that back in the day. And we're doing the best we can with the space we have, you know? And we're thinking outside the box now. We're not just stuck with one thing. So we opened up 300 more seats. It's great, but it's not enough.
But
No,
sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
But even before we ended up with the lottery program, we still had a capacity. So we could still only accept a limited amount of students. So what happened to the other students that weren't able to go there? They would alternatively go to Lynn English or Classical.
Again, that's not my problem.
Absolutely.
It's your problem to solve this. I recognize the problem there. That's why we're asking you these tough questions.
Yes.
We appreciate everything that you're doing. I hear you. But,
So just saying it doesn't
it's
stop
about-
there. You still have the
It's
option,
very-
just because you don't get in, it's not a dead
It's
end.
very challenging. It's
Yeah.
very challenging, and that's why I posed the question. No easy answer to this.
And
all right?
there's no easy answer, and like, we're doing the best we can. And
Mhm.
we're trying to utilize the space we have, thinking outside the box, and we added, the after dark, there's more. We're trying to bring, other programs at classical and English for
Right.
those who be able to have a chance to get a trade, or like, Eric mentioned, we have gaming, coding, those are things that is today's world, coding is big.
It is. It is.
You got, gaming, coding, it's today's world, not my world, I'm old school. But,
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
No.
Okay. I think this has been a very spirited discussion. I appreciate your answer.
I keep hearing that there's 300 more vacancies, as we would say.
Yes.
Is the pool above board, or is politically motivated? If anybody look like me, are we going to get a chance?
I understand your question.
But you understand it. I want them to
I
understand
do,
it.
but I'm going to give them an opportunity to answer that.
Yeah,
The
okay.
question Bishop is posing is this. We realize how competitive these spots are to get into Lynn Vocational Technical Institute. And now you have a lottery system. He said, is this going to be above board, or is it because my uncle knows somebody that knows somebody, so now I can get chosen, I get in? How do we safeguard this? I'm going to assume that it's above board, correct?
It's a lottery, and it's a standard, and they're sticking by the policy. There's no favors, no nothing. I have lifelong friends that say, hey, I can't get my kid to tech, and I couldn't either at one time. And even my own child applied and did not get accepted, and I was already a current school committee member. Does that answer any questions? Yes.
He said he couldn't
Do
do
you
something
know
he
the
did.
percentage of our students in Lynn Public Schools? Of the black and brown percentage? Do you know where that's at?
No, I'm not quite familiar with it.
Okay. Well, I mean, just to answer that, like, there's no.
What's the percentage, Lenny?
76% of the students are
Black
Latino.
or brown students
No,
of
that would
color.
be
Is that what
80
you're saying?
No, that would be 86%.
Okay,
But
thank you.
76%
Is what?
Latino. No.
Is what?
70s.
Latino. 76% is Latino. And when you combine all black and brown students, it's 86%. I think 86, 84. We had a shortage this year, and some people say they moved away. Obviously there's a lot of stuff. People are afraid to send their kids to school. And I just want to make it clear, and I like to make a statement while we're here. We protect all children. Just like my brother Brian's just saying, we vow to protect all children. Children are protected in Lynn Public Schools. We will never, ever cooperate with no ICE or anything like that. But there are a lot of things happening where people are affected like that. They're not sending their kids to school right now.
Because of ICE.
Yep.
All right. I thank you both. So at this time, we're going to end for the school committee. Ladies first, Andrea, would you like to give your closing statement?
Sure. Again, I'm Andrea Sadowite. I am running for school committee for my children and for others. I want every child to have an opportunity, just like I did. Having gone to LVTI and been a product of the Lynn Public School System, I am very successful, and every student can be successful, and I want every child to know that. I'm also a mother of 4, as mentioned, so I am not only just speaking this, I'm living it. I see my kids every day. My oldest being in 12th grade, she's in high school. She's with the overcrowding. She's been in class with 40 other kids to one. The ratio can be very crazy. So I feel like I have that experience, in addition to now have been on the school committee and faced the challenges that we faced. So I feel that I'm qualified and ready to continue where we are going in the right direction with this new superintendent that I believe is gonna put us in the right direction. Again, I respectfully ask for one of your 6 votes on November 4th. Thank you.
Lynn, your closing statement.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you, Bishop, for the questions. And I'm Lenny Pena. My lived experiences as a student, as a parent, I faced many inequities, and I took that pain and I made it a purpose. And it's my passion. I humbly ask for one of your 6 votes on November 4th, so I can continue to be a voice for those who feel like they're not heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole McLean. I am running for re-election as your counselor at large. And I'm running for re-election because I want to continue the work that I've already started. As Tristan mentioned, I've put a youth and adolescents task force in place. That task force has been doing research and working toward implementing more and better service for our young people, but we haven't really gotten anything done that I want to see us get done. So I want to continue on that. I implemented also our first Lynn Poet Laureate, who is working right now, Michelle La Poetica, and she's out here promoting literacy and culture and art in our community. So I want to continue on with that and make sure that continues to go forward. Another one of the initiatives that I was able to do with the current counselors was make sure our veterans had free parking. So veterans are able to have free parking right now because of the push forward that I have been doing on this council. I've been using this seat to make sure I am working with the community. Organizations like Neighbor to Neighbor, Lynn United for Change, these organizations are helping to keep people in their homes, and I've been working in conjunction with them to make sure that happens, and that we're not just developing Lynn, but we are making sure our residents that are currently here have been able to stay. So all of this work that I've been doing in my first term, I want to continue to push for all that positive change. So I'm asking for one of your 4 votes on November 4th. Please, Councilor McLean. Thank you. Number 1 on the ballot.
Brian Field.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for making time out of your busy schedules to join us, for us to introduce ourselves to you. It's important, I think, to everyone that you know who your candidates are and what they've done and what they hope to continue doing. My name's Brian Field. I'm currently in my 4th term. I've had the honor of serving the residents of the city of Lynn for the past 8 years. By profession, by trade, I've been a funeral director in the city of Lynn at Solomini Funeral Home, so a number of families that I look around the room here that I've helped assist you. I know Bishop very well. We work close together with our religious community and a number of other groups throughout the city. And I think being a funeral director has led me into being a counselor. My palm card here says that I'm hardworking, I'm responsive. You have to be responsive as a funeral director, or you really don't have a business. So that's carried over into my service as a counselor at large, where I work with my 3 colleagues. This team right here has been serving you for over 3.5 years now. Nicole filled in. She was appointed right after the late Buzzy Barton passed away. Buzzy was an amazing colleague. He was a mentor to myself and our other colleagues. And I remember back in 2021 being here at a forum, and we were able, Daryl allowed us to ask a question of the person that you were just seated with. And Councilor McLean here was who I was seated right next to. And I asked her, I said, Councilor, I said, Ms. McLean, Nicole, if you were to be on the council, who would you like to work with? Who do you think you could work well with? And she said, I think the Bryans. And it's true. And she nailed it. I think Brian LaPierre and Councilman Nicole McLean and Hong Net and myself, the 4 of us have been working closely together to serve you, to serve our colleagues that are the ward councilors, to cover them and assist them to work well with the mayor's office, the state delegation. This team of 4 right here has been serving you. We hope that you put us back again. We're here doing whatever work needs to be done. Councilor McLean touched on some of those, and we'll touch on a little bit more today. And I hope you give me a chance to serve again for another 2 years as one of your 4 councilors at large.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Daryl. It's an honor. It's so honored to be here tonight. Once again, I want to thank all of you for voting for me for the past years. Allow me to be your counselor at large, to serve the city that we love. And I believe I have been doing very well. As a counselor, I'm fair. I serve everyone with fairness, and I have no favoritism. And I never told you what I do as a outside job. I work for the Department of Revenue for 27 years, and currently I'm a city councilor for 14 years, almost 14 years, and I would love to continue to serve this city because it is a very, very important job that we all do right now as a councilor. All my city colleagues are doing a wonderful job. I love to continue to work with them as a chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, and we all look at budget very carefully. We do not want to waste our tax money on anything that's wasteful. That's what we do every day. And as a chairman of the government administration, I brought all the taxi companies in the city together, make a deal so we all taxi have the fair share of medallion. So there's no more monopolization in the taxi company. I worked on that. And also, I have done many other things. I created the Human Rights Commission so we all have the voice in the city. So that's because of the Human Rights Commission, that's why right now see the doors open to all of us. We all can participate in the government in the city. And this, when I first read, was very tough. I was scared. And now I see we all really, really brave. And so I'm so happy to see that. So once again, I respectfully ask for your vote on November 4th so I can join my colleagues to continue to serve our city that we love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl, and thank you all for being here this evening. It was almost 10 years ago when you folks instilled and entrusted the confidence in me and elected me as a counselor at large. I want to recognize my neighbor Liz and thank her for coming out tonight. I see some audience members and that I'm really proud of and I've known for an awful long time. But I lived in Ward 3. I was a Chatham Street kid. This place is very familiar to me. It was where I first kicked off in 1995, believe it or not, a Ward 3 race that I was not successful in, but we had a community meeting here in January of that year. And I don't think I've stopped serving the city in some capacity, either voluntary or elect capacity. And it's not a glamorous job. I take the job really seriously, but I'm trying to deliver, and I have for the last 10 years, meaningful, substantive city government services to residents. And a lot of times it's unheralded, a lot of times it's just about answering your phone, it's about getting back to people, it's about showing people a direction and how to navigate access in our city hall and how difficult that is across the city for some of our residents. So I try to chop down the walls, I try to open the doors and windows of City Hall. That's what I've done over the past 10 years. I answer my calls, I'm accessible, I come to neighborhood meetings with answers solution driven, and I'm confident in our abilities as a city. I know we have work to do, but this is the team that we should be doing it with. Frankly, they are my colleagues that I've worked really hard with and for, and we work with the mayor as well. And with my 30 seconds, I want to lift up 2 females in this room that I have a lot of respect for. Tanya McClurkin is with us, and she just opened her business in Faneuil Hall. And Beantown. And I went to her grand opening, and that's what a Linner is doing in our city. And I want to lift up Vic Breedy as well for your beautiful business and your powerfully resilient business that continues to make us all proud in our city. And these 2 are gifts to our city, and it's an honor to know you both. Thank you very much.
Genetically resilient.
All right, thank you all.
I have really two pressing questions for the councilors at large. And this will also be a question that will probably be applicable to the mayor, but there's no mayor's race this year, as we know, so it falls on your shoulders, right? We want to know a vision that you have. It is going to be this, and I'm going to pose this to Brian LaPierre and Nicole McLean, but we're going to start with Brian. But you both are going to get the same question. Sounds good. Question number one. What is going on at this Fox Hill Bridge? The end of, I think that's the name of it. It's the end of Western Avenue going into Saugus to the Marsh Road. Now, there has been construction and who knows what's going on over there. I don't think any of us know. I mean, it's been over 10 years. That bridge has been in the upright position like this. They made an alternate bridge to go around it, all right? Somebody got killed about 3 months ago down there at that bridge. And another person died maybe like last year. They were being chased by the police. They reversed direction, hit somebody head on. There's all kinds of chaos going on down there. It's a major artery going right through the middle of the city. What is going on at the Fox Hill Bridge? Can it be expedited? Is there corruption? Listen, we don't know who is doing the construction or the fixing on that bridge, but I'm sure somebody sitting here tonight has some of those answers. Brian, we're gonna start with you. How long has it been going on, and when will it be finished?
I love the softball question, Daryl. I really do. So let me give my best attempt, because the Fox Hill Bridge and Belden Bly Bridge, I believe, Western Ave 107, the key connector to our city. And we saw what happened when it crippled us over a 2-day period. The backups into Saugus, we could not access Lynn. No one can go from Ballard Street to Boston Street and avoid Western Avenue. So that being said, a big issue, and I'm not trying to pass it off to the state, but the state, at first, the temporary bridge, which feels like it's permanent to us because it's been around for 10 years, they have been working on it for 10 years, and that's no exaggeration. They are slated to complete it in 2026. And I think what we did was the state delegation, Representative Reed, for example, got on that and was supposed to be reopened by the weekend. It wasn't safe, and they had an inspection, and the inspection failed, so they shut that down immediately on a Wednesday night. They were going to let us hold out till Sunday or Monday of the next week, and we pressed and we pushed, and Sean Reed especially. We got it back open Friday at noon, but that was 48 hours of chaos. We need to get in there, like you said. I think we have the resources at the state level because we passed a millionaire's tax. Those millionaires are now paying 4% extra on their income that's supposed to go toward roads and bridges repair, and it's supposed to go to education. We need to be investing that. We need to make it faster. We need to make it smoother, and we can't be settling for less because Lynn has deserved a bridge that opens and closes and modern, and we got to do it, and it should be before 2026 even. It's been 10 years long enough. Thank you.
2026?
That's what they said.
Which is like in January?
Yeah, I hope so.
That bridge is gonna come down like this?
It's supposed to be done, I bet spring of 26, but that's what he said. And take away the temporary one, but that will be in working order. Cross our fingers.
We're gonna let Nicole address the rest of this question.
Okay. Not to say that I wasn't here when that started, but I wasn't here when that started. This is my first term, 2023 till now. So just to start off like that. But there's a lot of traffic in our city already. So to have that bridge closed was terrible. It was terrible. How did anyone get around it? I have no idea. People probably just stayed in the house. People probably had to call into work because they could not get to work on time. Right. People probably just turned around and was like, you know what? That's the end of my day. And that's unacceptable. And as Brian said, it is the state. We have to continue to press for that money from them and for them to expedite it. I mean, I'm happy that Sean Reed is on, is part of that delegation now. He's very active, and I think that working with him, working with Brendan Crichton, who's on the transportation committee up there in the state, I think this will all help us. Also, we have Mayor McGee on the transportation somehow up there in the state as well as a chair. So we have people from Lynn who know our struggles that are at the state level that we need to work together with to make sure that these things are being pushed forward. I think that those people are assets, and we need to exploit those assets and make sure that they're pressing for that money that we need to get that expedited.
All right, thank you. And, Brian Field, the question is this, gentlemen. I have to start with a story first. It'll be short. I was actually talking with a friend of mine the other day, and they were driving through the city, and they're driving down South Common Street, all right? South Common Street, you know the St. Stephen's Church is there, takes you right into City Hall Square. On the other side, going down North Common Street, it brings you down into Market Square, all right? Market Square, you got Santander Bank, you got the fire station down there, all these things there. And they were saying to me, what is going on in Lynn? They were saying, I'm almost ashamed to bring people here, my friends, and there's potholes, it seems like there's construction, and this has been going on for a long time. This is, again, a major thoroughfare right in the middle of the city. You're talking about the Commons right there, a stone's throw from City Hall, and it's an eyesore. And tell me the difference. What's the difference between Market Square and City Hall Square? I wasn't really quite going with that, but I understand you. Right? It's in the other direction. But a place like Wyoma Square. You have Market Square again. You have a big rotary they put down there across from Market Basket, all these different things to try to alleviate traffic. But they're putting in bike lanes. You know, not that they're not needed, but how long does this take? And what about the image of our city? All the way down Western Ave, going through there. If you get over the Fox Hill Bridge, you're trying to go to Salem, maybe, or down to your house if you live down in Ward 2 by Buchanan Bridge. It's a disaster. And I understood what my friend was saying. A lot of people that live in the city, they're telling me, right, told me I might want to come up off Linfield Street and go in that way. Or I want to just take people down by the beach, but I don't want to take people right through the heart of the city. And that's awful. It's right in the heart of the city, a stone's throw from City Hall, and people are ashamed to even walk there. And how are we going to get businesses to come in to strengthen our base for our budget and things like that, right? Our tax base, all this. What are you gonna do as city councilors, along with the mayor and the rest of your city councilors, to try to fix this image of the city so we can increase our tax base and have businesses want to come to Lynn? Nice restaurants, and Market Street should have sidewalk cafes certain times of year. It's wide enough. But now we got a bike lane and something else in there, but Market Street is pretty wide, I can tell you. But anyways, what are we gonna do to improve this situation? We're gonna start with.
Well, just like a big dick for Lynn, right? That's what y'all make fun of our city right now. They call me, what's going on? You guys have big dick in Lynn or what? No, we have just a bike lane and try to expand our roads. But yeah, so the mayor and the city council talk about this all the time. So right now, pretty much like everywhere I go talk to people at different events, I just please them, please forgive us. Give us more time. That's all I can do right now. Yes, we have to coordinate with the state better before we decide to do anything. That's why I did not like this project that much. Well, the project will be good when finished, but from the beginning, we all thought not going to be very, very pretty, and we are right. So yes, we will continue to push the contractor, the state delegation, and the mayor's office. Make sure put pressure on those people to get the job done. They promised us they could get done before winter, but now winter approaching, we are concerned. What are we gonna do? How our city gonna plow our streets? That's gonna, it's gonna cause so much problems. And now we're gonna put more money to fix the damage that we've done by the plows. That's what we're concerned right now. So yes, that's all we can do right now. Ask our residents to be patient with us, and we can continue to work as hard as we can to push to make sure they get it done before the winter approach. That's all we can do right now, and I know that the answer is not what we want to hear. That's what we can do right now in the meantime. There's not much we can do. So I feel the same way as you do, and every time, you know, it's just cross from one side to the other, it takes 1 hour. So that's
It's frustrating for a lot of citizens here
Exactly.
that live here, that love the city of Lynn,
exactly.
that want to see us do better, so we need more from our leadership.
And in summer, you know, when we had an event at the Commons, people could not find a place to park, people could not get in, so we lost a lot of money. People go back to the village.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go on totally different. You gotta follow me on this one, because this is gonna bounce around. So, my personal feeling
Keep
is
in mind, you only got
that's okay.
a minute.
That's all right. So both questions kind of go right into one. Okay? The first question that Darryl asked you, the second question that Darryl asked. And it all falls down on what we know and how do we communicate with the state and how DOT communicates with us. So right now, Darryl mentioned Wyoming Square. Don't go to Wyoming Square tonight. They're paving Broadway. Okay, so it's a poop show throughout the whole city because they're paving Broadway tonight. So don't even think Wyoming Square is even any better than any other square in the city right now. It's not. Okay, I was one of 3 councilors that voted against Broadway because of that lack of communication, where you're bottlenecking the entire city because you got too many projects going on at the same time simultaneously. I want to circle back to the Belden by Bridge. It's closer to 16 years. It was less time to build the Golden Gate Bridge with less technology than it is to build this bridge. Okay, why? Poor communication from the state to us. That's why we don't trust them. That's why I voted no for Broadway. Okay, project that we need, yes. Okay, the bike lanes, when that was proposed to us, okay, it was information that we have to make as counselors. And we have to know what are the consequences if we vote yes, and what are the consequences if we vote no. What are the reasons if we vote yes? And what are the reasons if we vote no? And during that public period, that comment period, that public hearing that was hosted in City Hall, the majority of people that we listened to were in favor of it, of that project, okay? Because it brought people into the city. It was an alternative to cars coming into the city, okay? Anytime there's construction, you redo your kitchen, you redo your lift, you redo anything in your house, you understand the consequences of construction. Right now, we're looking at the consequences of the construction on the Commons and Market Street. But a survey told us that listening to the kids of this city, they don't feel safe going down the street. They don't feel safe walking down the sidewalk. They don't feel safe riding their bikes. So we listen to those pieces of information that we gather as counselors before we make those decisions. Curbs can be temporary. If it doesn't work out, we can rip them out. But this was a way that it was presented to us of bringing people all the way from Everett to Lynn Beach, okay? And that is why we voted in favor of that unanimously to build that project. Is it the best project? No. Nothing during construction is. I ask that you wait, see what the consequences are when it's finished, see if it's safer for our children, see if it's safer for residents, see if it's safer for people that are visiting our city, and then base that decision off of that.
Pertaining to those sidewalks and the bike lanes and all that stuff, how does snow removal work for that?
We'll find out. All right. I have one question for the councils at large. All right? One question for the councils at large, but I want you to just hold off for 1 second, because I don't know if I had an opportunity to do this. Again, we do have a couple of city council candidates that are here this evening. I just want to acknowledge them. In Philly Devin, Josh, come on.
everyone. My name is Cardelis Paez, or Cardi. I am running for Ward 5 City Council. We just had a large conversation about all of this construction on the Commons and Market Street. That's all Ward 5. So we obviously know that it's a problem. There's a lot of infrastructure that we need to take advantage of. Like, we've heard from, or I don't know if y'all have heard from, like, other counselors who have said, like, well, this part that's shared between us, all of our streets are paved and within this neighborhood for this specific ward. When you talk about that same neighborhood, another ward in Ward 5, the streets are not paved. So right now we're in a situation where people need to begin to advocate and really hold folks accountable, work together, and create different systems to be effective in implementing changes that are going to impact people on a day-to-day basis. I had the privilege of going to school in California, where I studied international political economy, and went to Latin America, did a lot of work around economic development, particularly with helping business owners to create jobs, and particularly business owners from marginalized communities that normally don't have access to different resources. And I've had the opportunity to come back to my community, and over the past few years, I've been working on other economic development work within the downtown area, and developed many affordable housing units within the city, and started working on a variety of different environmental related programs. So I'm excited to take that knowledge and continue to provide different solutions and opportunities for people within the ward, and have these communications and really be innovative, right? Like, it's not a state level position, it's not anything, right? This is an opportunity for us to pilot new solutions, to really look at, on like a very small scale, what's working.
All right. Thank you, everybody. My name is Josh Polonsky. I'm also running to be the next Ward 5 City Councilor. I was born and raised in the city of Lynn. I'm a product of Lynn Public Schools. I know that when I was in high school, when I was at Breed Middle School, if we had a substitute teacher that day, it was like, hey, we can take it easy, except if Mr. Turner was in the house. We knew we had to be on our best behavior. I'm glad to see you here, Mr. Turner. I am raising 2 children in the city of Lynn. My wife and I are, I'm a lifelong resident of Ward 5. My wife grew up in Salem. When we get married 19 years ago tomorrow, we made the choice to stay right here in Lynn. We made the choice to raise our family in Lynn. I love the city of Lynn. I'm very prideful. All of you obviously take a lot of pride in your community. I feel like pride in community is the first step, right? We all here are invested in our community. You all have come out, you're spending a lot of time listening to us as candidates. From all the candidates, I can speak to everybody here. Thank you. Thank you all. Got one homework assignment for me, and that is, please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell anybody in the city of Lynn that you talk to, November 4th. That is election day. Why is that important? Because right here at your city level of politics, that is where your daily life is affected the most. Federal level of politics, state level, it affects you. But your city, if you have a problem at your home, if you have a problem at your business and your business is in Lynn, as a ward counselor, I am your first line of defense. I am your first phone call. Please make me your first phone call. I don't have a secretary. You call my cell phone, I'm gonna answer it. I'm gonna get on your issues. If I don't know, and there'll be a lot of things right away that I don't know, I know that I have people that have come before me that I can learn from. These 4 folks right here are other ward counselors. Coco's here, Natasha's here. Those are the people that I've already fostered relationships with. Thank you. I won't take up any more of your time. November 4th, please vote.
What's your name?
Josh Polonsky.
All right.
I'm Billy Devon. I'm running for Ward 7 Councilor. Ward 7 is in the heart of West Lynn. I'm 61 years old. I've spent my entire life in Ward 7, West Lynn. But first off, I don't want to go off script. This guy, I know. This guy right here, he's very humble. Was one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of this city at Lynn Classical High School. And my friend over here, Mr. Turner, was one of the greatest basketball coaches to ever coach at Lynn Classical. All right, so getting back to me. 30 years, Mr. Bennett, 30 years as a Lynn public school teacher and a coach and an administrator. The thing I'm most proud of, and you alluded to this earlier in the evening, 30 years teaching. I go right home to Lynn in West Lynn, 5-10 minutes from where I worked, or I teach and then I coach. That's the thing that I'm most proud of. I know a lot of teachers teach and then at 2:45, see you later. I'm out of here. I don't live in Lynn. I'm not going anywhere. I go, so people ask me, they go, well, Billy, and this is how I got to know Kenny. The last 17 years of my career, I was privileged to be the athletic director at Lynn Classical High School. I mentored thousands of kids, thousands. So when I retired in 2024, people said to me, why do you want to be ward counselor? You're retired. I go, I'm retired. I'm not dead. I go, I can approach this job like a full-time job. I've got nothing but time. And I will tell you this, I've enjoyed campaigning. I actually like it. I like going to these events and meeting people and talking to people. One more thing. My wife, 32 years. I don't know how she put up with me. She's still with me, right? 32 years. We've raised 5 kids. All 5 of my kids went to Lynn Public Schools. They played sports, and they all still live in Lynn. These 2 guys are retired firefighters, right? Public safety. I have a son that's a police officer. Let's hear if these guys risk their life every single day. They go out for a call. My wife and I, when my son goes out on a call, as a police officer, I'm super worried all the time because there are great things in this city, but there are a lot of bad things that happen in the city too. And my son tells me sometimes, he goes, Dad, we got like 14 calls tonight, and they get inversed a lot. They get inversed. So my son works from 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning. I know I could go all night. 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and then he'll find out at like 9 o'clock you're staying from 1 to 9. So you have a lot of police officers out there that are working 14 and 15-hour shifts. All right. So why am I running? Public safety. Okay, very important. Affordable housing. I don't know how people do it. They just built 25 units down on Cottage Street. Those are going for $3,000 a month. I couldn't even live there. All right? And then we have, I love the whole thing about the school committee tonight because I spent 30 years living that. I know the ups and downs of the school system. All right? School resources are super duper important. All right? Youth organizations will always be dear to my heart because if it wasn't for sports, I wouldn't have become the person that I became. And I'm so happy that I just want to continue to give back to the community that I love, and I love Lynn. Hey, I know and you know why we're getting through all this traffic stuff, and you know, because Lynn is gritty. We're a gritty city. We got gritty people that live here. We're resilient. You know, we're not perfect. People always go, hey, where do you live? I go, and a lot of people go, oh, yeah, I live near, I go, I live in Lynn. Oh, Lynn, the city, you know, the whole, and I'm like, yeah, I live in Lynn and I'm proud of it. And I'm not going anywhere. If you know anybody that lives in Ward 7, tell them, vote for Devin. And I'll leave this, my closing statement. I am the only candidate that has his own campaign song. Have you guys heard it yet? Ward 7, you gotta vote for Devin. It's a legitimate song and it's out there. Google it. Thank you.
For the councils at large, but I think it's important. Once you hear it, I believe that it'll be worth it. All right. The last question is this. Again, I was alluding to the city of Lynn and its image. All right, and how so many people talk about the city of Lynn, and it's not all good, right? But we like and love the city of Lynn, and then we know we can do that. The city councilors, and please reach out to the mayor about this same thing, about improving our image and bringing, let's just say, businesses and revenue back to the city of Lynn. How can we do this? All right. So that's the question I'm posing to you. But in posing this question, I'm gonna add a suggestion to this. like I was alluding to, what's the difference between Market Square in Westland and Wilmer Square in Eastland? All right?
Cleaner.
It's like a, who said that?
It's cleaner.
Cleanliness. Let me just tell you, cleanliness goes a long way. With all these things we were talking about, that up and down the commons on both sides, I'd like to see green grass and beautiful trim trees all throughout that common. People should be able to walk up and down North Common Street. They come up from City Hall or the surrounding streets in there and sit in that common and feel comfortable and just smell the nice, fresh air without trash all over the place. We should not have the trash that we have in the city of Lynn. We should not. We can do better than this. And I don't think that's that difficult. And when I'm proposing to all of you city councilors, again, I mentioned to the mayor before, all right? We are Shoe City, all right? Shoe City. Now, what does that mean to you or me? The city of Lynn was once the shoemaking capital of the world, of the entire world, all right? It is historical. We have a real history here, all right? The first shoe lasting machine made by Jan Matzeliger right here in the city of Lynn. Now, if you go to your phone and you Google Shoe City, you wanna know what comes up? Brockton. Brockton comes up for Shoe City, right? Why is Brockton Shoe City? Because they just claimed it first. Brockton had about, I think at that time, when I looked this up, Brockton had about 40 shoe factories. All right? I said, oh, they have 40 shoe factories. How many did the city of Lynn have? Over 200. Over 200 in the city of Lynn. You tell me who's Shoe City. Lynn is Shoe City. We should have a citywide campaign. We should have a shoe logo on everything that we do. Shoe City Cab. Shoe City Plumber. Shoe City everything. I'm telling you. And the reason why this can be successful, let's look not far at some of our neighbors. Right down the street, Salem. Over 1 million people come here every year. And you're going to see in the next couple of days over a made-up history. It's not even real. Witches. It's not even real. But I will tell you, the money's real. The revenue is real, right? Because people have this infatuation with witchcraft. That's what it's all about. You go there and you see a statue of Elizabeth Montgomery, a made-up witch from TV. And all these things that happen in Salem's witch trials, and they will tell you, I don't totally blame the city of Salem, all right? If you go to the city of Salem and you go to the witch museum, they'll tell you the truth. Those witch trials didn't even take place in Salem. It took place in Danvers, which was Salem Village at the time. And they separated themselves because they didn't want the stigma of being called Salem a witch place. But Salem embraced this, and millions of people come here. So how does this affect us? I'm going to tell you real quickly, and I'm throwing it back to you. They have this made-up history. Millions of people come here. If people are taking up, and I tell you, people come from all over the world, all over the country. If they go to Boston, and they got to get to Salem, how are they getting there? 107, 1A. They got to come through here. And people do it. Millions of people, right? Now, let me tell you something else that people have a fetish with. Guess what it is? Shoes. People love shoes. So we have to capitalize on what we have. They have to come through Lynn, all right? If people are here making a vacation out of it, why wouldn't they stop in Shoe City along the way? Right now, Lynn City Hall, the Lynn Auditorium, we had Diana Ross is coming this week. If the city of Lynn does not get those shoes off Diana Ross's feet and put them in a museum, we've lost an opportunity. Every big act that comes here, it should be a tradition. When they come to Shoe City, after they perform, kick their shoes off on the stage, you leave them there, and you put them in the museum. And people come here to see Frank Sinatra's shoes, Gladys Knight's shoes, all right? Wayne Newton's shoes. Bobby Brown shoes, Ashanti shoes. The Rolling Stones performed at Man and Bowl years ago. We can get their shoes from somebody. Let's get them. And I mean this. You create this museum. We've had 59 mayors in the city of Lynn. Get all their shoes, put them in there. Create this museum so when people are coming to see these fake witches over here, they say, why not stop? Why not stop at Shoe City, the Shoe City Museum? They gotta come this way. Get their shoes. Let Diana Ross get out of here without those shoes. We need them. Yes, we need those shoes. Believe me, like they say, you build it, they will come. That's my take. What do you think we can do about making Shoe City Shoe City?
Is my first question?
That's the question for everyone, and we're gonna finish with that, folks. We just want to know what can we do about this? What do you think about
I'm
this?
glad I'm not running against Darryl. Okay, he comes up with all the ideas. But ideas like that are what we're going to bring forward. Okay, it's your ideas that this council brings forward. And to circle back to the beginning part of that question, the difference between Market Square and Wyoming Square, okay, and the cleanliness, you pointed that right out, okay. That's an initiative that I took on right when I first got elected. I asked council presidents here, can we start a litter committee? Sure. You want to start it? You're in charge. Okay, I co-chair that with Councilor Shakutis. We've started initiatives. We sat down, we formed a committee. We said, what is the most important part about this committee? They said education, okay? We have a second grade poster contest every year. Not just myself, everybody on the school committee, everybody on the council, the mayor, superintendent. We get into every second grade in this city. All 22 public schools, 2 private schools. We hit that the following Monday, following Earth Day. If Earth Day's over the April vacation, we give them that week off. We hit them right there first thing Monday morning. We hit all 23 schools, okay? What do? We engage the second graders. Hey, what did we celebrate over your vacation? Easter, that's probably the #1 answer. Then they say Patriots Day, good. Few kids will say it. Earth Day, and we engage with those kids. What's important about Earth Day? Because we're all living on the same earth. They know the effects of litter. They know how harmful it is, not just in Wyoming Square. They know what it's like in Market Square. Okay, these are the things that we discuss with second graders. We encourage them. We invite them to promote what they want to talk about litter. And we have those posters hung up in schools. We have the winners from each school printed 50 times to be hung in businesses all around the city, reminding people that live here, reminding people that visit here that we want to keep Lynn clean. That's our slogan. Okay, we put the citywide winner on a billboard so that we can say everybody that's driving by that billboard can see that we take pride in our city. You better too. Okay, we talk about big belly barrels. Those are investments that we make to keep our parks and cities area clean. We have Keep Lynn Clean Saturdays, initiative that I started 10 seasons ago. Okay, not just myself, wouldn't be successful with just me. It's these 3 people that I'm seated with. It's these people out here, many volunteers, the mayor himself. We spend 10 Saturdays in spring, 10 Saturdays in the fall, from 9 to 11, cleaning up an area in the city, cleaning up an area in the commons every season because that's an active place. Every ward councilor chooses an area in their ward that they want to clean up. The other 3 Saturdays, it's a neighborhood participation. It's celebrating pride in our city. We want to get back to the business part of the city. When I first started, I noticed a social media post from a girl named Lauren Bateman, lives just up the street here in Ward 3. Her and her wife lived there, okay? She had a music school. And I talked about this at an event just last week. She had a music school in Wakefield that she wanted to expand. She was looking for a place in Lynn. I just happened to see her post on social media. I reached out to her and said, hey, I'm gonna get you in touch with Jim Cowdell over at EDIC and see what he can do for you. Okay? She opened LB Music School in Ward 7 on Walnut Street, sitting right next to the Dunkin' Donuts. She was teaching Lynn kids how to love music. Lauren's business has expanded so much that she's outgrown that position and unfortunately has had to move on to another location. But this is a stepping stone in her career, okay? Anybody on social media, I'm sure Vicky is, yeah? Okay? You look at how many likes you get, how many views you get, okay? She's a YouTube sensation, okay? You think somebody that has 1,000 views, pretty successful, okay? Have 10,000 subscribers, pretty successful, okay? Lauren Bateman, 50 million views. How to teach people how to play a guitar. Simple thing like that, people knew it. Right here in Lynn, okay? She has almost 500,000 subscribers monthly to her YouTube channel, How to Play a Guitar. It's little people like that, okay? There was a food truck festival not too long ago right over at the New Harbor Park. I started talking to folks to find out where they are. They live in Revere. They have to go all the way to Danvers to get their truck and get their food prepared to come back to Lynn. Why can't Lynn have a commercial kitchen? Not just Danvers, okay? Those are the successful businesses that we look at. We look at the neighborhood restaurants, the ethnic restaurants. That's what makes Lynn great. People come to a concert. Like Daryl said, they want to eat somewhere right inside Lynn, okay? They can't get a reservation because we don't have enough restaurants. That's how many people are coming to this city. These are the little things that we focus on to help support them. Our ward councilors do that all the time. We're supporting that all the time. The mayor's supporting that all the time. These are the kind of things that we need to build here so that people are still coming here. Yes, we put air conditioning inside the auditorium to keep people comfortable, but those restaurants, those are the ways that we can build and support our community, and it just builds from there. We're here to listen to your ideas about shoes and whatever we can do, because we're not anything special. We're not here, and we're not here. We're right on the same level as all of you, and your ideas are our ideas. And it's your ideas that make us look better, because your ideas are amazing, okay? That's why we love serving you. That's why we all love the city. And this is why we're building on what the generation before us did, and we're looking at the generation for the future, and I hope that we're good examples for that younger generation to get involved. Because I think it was Josh that said it, we see what's happening at the national level. We see what's happening at the state level. It's all right here. It's right in these neighborhood meetings. This is where it matters. This is where your ideas are brought forward, and that's what makes a difference in this city.
Thank you. The city council.
Mic drop.
Say again?
Mic drop.
Mic drop right there. All right. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Sorry.
Thank you. And we're give a round of applause to our city councilors here. Brian Lafayette. Yeah. Nicole McLean. Ryan Field. Long Neck. Councils at large. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. Drive safely. Have a good night.